Hi everybody. So a bit has happened over the past week, so just bear with me for a minute as I get a lot of new and returning viewers up to speed. A lot of you will have seen that I've only uploaded a few videos in the past few years, and that is for good reason. However, I recently had a small moment of not thinking my actions through effectively, and that has resulted in a lot more eyes being on this dormant channel. Let me elaborate. So the other night, I watched a Jax Films live stream, and if you don't know who that is, it's a spin-off channel of Jax Films who does skits, sketches, parodies, and on that channel specifically, he does essentially bad reactor bingo. They'll watch videos of reactors reacting to videos that they usually steal, and they don't actually react to them, and there'll be bingo spaces like doesn't give credit, doesn't react at all. Essentially, if you get the 5 spots, you get a bingo. This is the first time I've ever really been able to catch a stream, and so I watched one, and being caught up in the hype of the moment, I essentially won nearly as quickly as possible. Since I was playing as a YouTube chatter, I thought the win would just be like a gifted YouTube membership. Turns out, it was essentially a shout out. So when he looked at my channel, he saw I was 60 subscribers away from 10,000. And so he encouraged the viewers at the time to go to my channel and to subscribe in order for us to hit 10K. And we did. In fact, we hit 10.1K. Thank you for that, I suppose. This is not the first time we've hit this milestone on this channel. We initially hit it like 3-4 years ago, but due to my inactivity, it just slowly dwindled away, and then we're back at 9K, and that's where we've been for like 4 or 5 years now. Given, this channel's inactivity and essentially everything surrounding it, as that moment was happening, I scrambled and I just unlisted, at least temporarily, my previous 3 uploads because I didn't want people's first and potentially only impression of me to be my worst moment. However, over the past few days, I've kind of realized this is inherently dishonest and deceptive to not only myself, but people at large. My best friend kind of put it like this. He was like, you can either have that conversation with people, which is always difficult and always awkward, or you could not. And not doing it is always easier. And that's true. But I am here wanting to take essentially additional accountability because I believe it's the right thing to do, and maybe it will help me forgive myself even more. And I'm also using Facecam here to just show that I'm being as genuine as I can. And also because technically, like 4 or 5 years ago, I did promise a face reveal when we hit 10K, and despite the circumstances, we hit that, so I do try to be a man of my word. So to say it very bluntly, regarding my inactivity, especially because in my previous few update videos, I've essentially danced around saying it directly, and I've gotten a lot of comments that have criticized me on that, very rightfully so. And I want to make it right by just directly saying it. So, when I was 20 years old, so young, but certainly old enough to know better, I crossed some boundaries, and I made some people uncomfortable, and I spoke to 2 of my viewers who were 15 years old at the time, and I said things like, "You're pretty, I like your name, I simp for you, come over to a place, and I will make your bed warmer with the heat." The extent of the strangeness of these conversations were a one-time occurrence each. It undoubtedly showed a bad pattern, and it's hard to argue that it's not like a thinly veiled, weird, and poor attempt at flirting. I could try to explain how my brain rationalized at the time, or just my flawed thoughts, but it doesn't really make it okay, and it doesn't justify it either. I will forever assert that I had not, will not, and did not do anything with anybody in that age bracket because I did not, and because it's true. I wouldn't do that. That is not who I am, and if you think it is, it's understandable, and it's my fault that you think that, but it's not the case. Once these conversations had spread and eventually got back to me a few months later, I had made a video essentially exposing myself for them because I believed I could reach the widest amount of my audience this way, and I felt it needed to be known, and I wanted to take accountability, and I felt it was the right thing to do. Because of this all, I've since taken an indefinite break from creating content, and I spent a lot of time working on fixing the issues in my life that resulted in me being able to think or speak in such a way or even believe that it was okay at the time, and I have since also gone to an extensive amount of therapy. As the years have come and gone, I have found myself unable to feel like I deserve to put myself out there and have a supporting community. So I've essentially left my channel, for the most part, dormant with a lot of unanswered questions on if I'm coming back, when I'm coming back, if I'm ever making another video. And I tried to answer this in my most recent upload from a few months ago, and my answer is no, that's my current goal. But I also said, like, maybe I'll make an update in 2 more years, and it's only been a few months, and here we are. Each time I've made a video here, I've been surprised at the amount of people who have overall supported me. You know, there's been a fair bit of hate, and all of it has been rightfully so. I just want you all to know that I see your comments and I appreciate them, even the bad ones, because it helps me strive to better myself, and that's what I've tried to do over these years. I've only put effort into a handful of videos in the past few years, and all of which have been on my second channel. If you are curious in that at all, I'm sure there's like a card on screen or a link in the description. It's more just general rambling like this. No matter how long I spend trying to think of what to say for these things, I will always forget something and wish I said more. So perhaps you'll hear from me again in the future, or maybe you won't. I honestly have been missing this all, especially lately. So I just want to thank you all once more for the amazing memories that I do have. I wish that I could have shared a lot of the cool moments in my life that have happened over these past few years with you as they happened, but I mean, who wouldn't miss the happiest time of their life? But for now, that is all I have. Thank you once again. Cheers.